All right, Chris, what happened last time?
Last time we slew the dragon, and at the cost of the lives of several halflings and nearly the life of Warden, um, who I believe has chosen to remain in Brandonsford and fish for a living. And more power to him. Um, and while the temptation is strong, such a beautiful place, and obviously they need a lot of help. Nonetheless, we must go on. And so, I mean, not to be too brief about what happened last time, but that's pretty much it. And, we did, I think, a little plundering, a lot of plundering, really. And now we forge ahead northwest, I think, into the unknown towards the mountains with the goal of trying to get to the other side. If I have that correct.
Yeah, to discover the fate of the dwarven people. Um,
Yeah.
so, and neither option is comfortable. Both of them perilous. This one's simply unknown. Tharnlin, if you are okay with this, can just stay with you all as a henchman, and then you have Knob and let's see,
Quince.
yeah, Knob, Squints, and Tharnlin. Does anyone remember the name of Tharnlin's cousin? I'll figure it
Eddie.
out. Eddie.
Cousin Eddie. Yeah.
Cousin Eddie.
It stuck in my mind.
Right. This is one of those things like dwarves are like, over 100 years old. So this is something that probably hasn't heard from his cousin Eddie since he was a child. I will say that. So the fate of any trade routes into the north to the west of the Black Spine Mountains have been unknown for decades. Except
We
that.
also,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, well, I was going to say we also were, I believe, empowered to sort of represent Brandonsford's interests as lords or something, what aldermen. So even though we're traveling, we're still aldermen of Brandonsford, so we can maybe help them direct some trade their way, or let them know, spread the news of what's going on to, friendly ears, hopefully, and because they're going to need help. They're going to need dwarven help to get those walls rebuilt, I think. Or ideally, it should be dwarven help. They're going to need help of some kind to move a lot of stone around and build it tall again.
Yeah. Edward, your hair has just started to grow back, by the way.
I'm no longer because I lost all my facial hair, right?
Yeah, including the eyebrows and stuff.
Yeah.
Fairies have been
I'll be glad
really
to be
terrible.
shut. I'll be glad to be shut of this place. Let me tell you, as much as I like Brandonsford,
It's a silly place.
it's just a silly place, indeed.
Well, activate. There we go. I don't know what's going on there. Let's get rid of this. On the 17th day, now 2.5 weeks, you awaken. I assume, having not even hardly taken the chance to, mend your scrapes or even change much as in terms of clothes, exhausted. Grimly, hobbits are scuffling around outside, still working to try to repair and to do what's necessary to man the wall, the big gap in the wall and the gate, and to help their neighbors. And that's one thing that you notice when you wake up, other than Mildred squawking, is you can see hobbits helping each other. And where buildings are burned down or torn down, neighbors are already gathering supplies to give them a place to, hopefully a new home in its place in time. And on the 17th day, it is a brisk morning outside. But otherwise, it seems like a nice morning.
Well, we need to make sure we're supplied or anything else.
Okay. I think that...
Also, do I have... wait, I'm sorry. Steve, Bashar is not coming with us, correct?
No, Bashar's going to stay here.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
a certain person hasn't shown up yet, but we'll see, since you all just woke up.
Yeah, Bashar spent his entire life as a slave and an outlaw, and he's never known peace. Nor has he gotten any kind of recognition, so he's kind of reevaluated his life with getting a title, and having had a roof over his head for more than a few days. So he plans to remain in the area and watch over Brandonsford at a say from a safe distance, safe from, and he kind of glances over to the hobbits. Different aggravations.
Yeah.
Mildred can come
Still stuck with the goose. The
Yeah,
final
Mil-
destiny.
That's right.
The final fate of Bashar.
We can say them.
There's no release from the goose.
Maybe the goose can go keep the raven company.
The goose is always in a fuss. Yeah.
So a steady stream of golden eggs is available to Bashar as the new probably you'd be like the head bounder or something, but you also have Brandon's house that you could be the keeper of. So everyone's going to tell you no to that, but then there is Mildred. But otherwise,
Just over the years, this pile of golden eggs just gets higher and higher.
yeah. Okay, so go ahead, Lane.
I was like, in that case, since we are taking some hobbits with us, I'll like maybe someday we'll come back for the golden eggs, and we have it's enticing. Ben is a little bit of a thief at heart, so he can't help it. Like, the golden eggs. Maybe someday I'll see you again. Yeah.
Bashar looks over at Mildred. Oh, only the eggs?
What?
Bashar looks over at Mildred and then back at Ben. Like, oh, just
the eggs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It squawks and growls with evil
The
intent.
goose hiss.
Yeah, the goose hiss. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Not like the Cobra chicken.
All right. Especially leaving it in the heroic hands of Bashar, the ranger. Brandonsford is probably as safe as it possibly could be, with a local goblin army devastated by a dragon, and then the dragon subsequently slain. You said you need supplies. I say we just package those. I heard you say that you wanted to buy the mule. I think it was what 1,000 gold or something.
It was 1,000 silver, so 100.
100 gold pieces. And did I give you the XP credit for being the treasurer there last time?
I
I want to make
I
sure.
think it's listed there.
think so, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, yeah. So you have one mule. They'll just give you a cart. I mean, you don't have to buy one. There are no horses here, obviously. There are no other mules. What do you want in terms of supplies?
Well, whatever I don't have, let me see. We don't know. I mean, how long are we going to be on the road? You know, do we know where the closest settlement is in that direction?
Tharnlin, he thinks for a moment. He says, I reckon that that settlement, I haven't been there since I was a child, but it was, it'd probably be at least 2 weeks' travel to the northwest if there's no trouble.
Oh my. Yes. So we'll need that. I don't have any much hunting skill to speak of. I suppose I could try.
Yeah, without a ranger to join us, we're gonna have to get used to taking care of ourselves on the road. Huh?
Now, did you do we have, who's got the mule?
You guys got the mule and the cart. You got it.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, without a ranger, no automatically succeeding on most surprise checks, no automatic navigation for the most part, no tracking. Yeah.
So we'll need at least 2 weeks worth of food. No.
Okay. Well, I'll say that that's exactly what you're able to carry because it is a little old mule and it is a little hobbit cart. That as far as something that could be reliable, so we'll put that exactly. So we have 2 weeks of rations, and these are 2 weeks of rations for each of you, Tharnlin, Knob, Squints, and the mule.
Yeah.
I can also say in the cart if you want to put supplies necessary for camp, enough tent material. Is that what you want? And then
well, yeah, I suppose it'd be nice to have shelter.
And then
so how much are you still being the treasurer, whoever you are now?
they give you all this, everything that we're talking about right now. You don't have to buy any of it.
Okay, I'm just saying because it's actually quite a lot of treasure that we're carrying as well.
That's true.
Good point.
To transfer my notes from my laptop over to this computer, but I've been keeping track since using this one.
Yeah.
But
And I know we just got another sort of windfall there. But yeah, that's important to... Do we have like a chest? Do we have a chest that's locked?
You can get a locked chest if you want to carry some monies. I don't know how much money you have, but I would honestly say there's probably a limit to what you could reliably carry in a hobbit cart.
Yeah. Well, we tried to get as much of it for jewels and stuff, right? Didn't we do that last time?
That was something you
that
did
was
when
the
you
idea.
left Pernval City.
Okay.
No. I think when we were splitting, I think
When we raided the bank, didn't we try and...
we said like we'll keep our share in the largest possible denominations. I think jewels and stuff. We'll leave the coinage, most of the coinage to them, I guess. Although, except I said I needed to reserve. What was it now? 2,000 gold, 1,500 gold.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You've earned
the
it.
scary lady.
Yes, to buy off the bad elf.
So Bashaw, you subtracted 1,500 gold from those treasures, right? And then, what do we want to say that? And how much is left? Like, how much money are we talking here, generally speaking?
We've got... So what I'm going to do is go back into general, because when I posted the list there, there we go, on hand, 14,000 or 1,400 gems in the bank.
While you're doing that math, is the plan to leave Brandonsford today? Or is there anything else that you all want to do?
I think I'd like to be on the road.
Okay.
Ben, how do you feel about it?
Sounds good to me. I'll look over to our hobbit companions. Yeah, so might want to say goodbye to any family, and because I mean, like I said, maybe I hope to come back someday. If not, to say hi to Bashar, get some more eggs, and before we go back around to wherever leads us. But yeah, it might be a while. Just saying.
Squints is like, I am coming back. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to have a wife. And we're going to have a house. And it's going to be down in the middle of town, across from Brandon's house, near the town hall.
Nice. Well, you earn that fortune with us so you can come back and pay for it.
That's the plan. No farming for me anymore.
I like it. You're in the right place. Or you will be when you come with us. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I just want to make a note that my spells for the day are animal friendship and speak with animals.
Oh yeah, I need to look at the... Oh, I don't have the...
Oh, yeah, and I did level up, so I guess I should roll for my new hit points. It's only a D4.
You hit level 4?
Yep, thieves go fast, which
wow.
is... Guess why they only have D4 for hit points, because they also level up faster.
Yeah.
Okay, so
2, okay.
with deductions, and this is without my other notes, so it could be more or less within the range of I don't even know what the range would be, but we got 5,721 gold pieces worth of stuff in general. A lot of that was already in jewels. So that's based off of my old notes and then what we got this time. So I will have to compare those and adjust things from my notes on my other computer as well. But
Sorry,
we're rich.
I was grabbing this book. What's the total in gold?
Total in gold, do 5721.
5721, and that's after the 1,500 is taken out and apportioned for... okay, Edward. I'm just checking this real quick. All right. So, I just wanted to propose kind of packaging this. Now, the hobbits are eager to give you any mundane supplies. They're not charging you. You're the greatest heroes that have been in this place for at least over 200 years and probably 1,000. So, interestingly, you would probably, one of the reasons I asked if you're leaving today is after you leave, kind of what happens is the bankers kind of turn out to be right, because once the local economy is flush with gold pieces, they realize it's not really worth anything. And what they really need is security and supplies and goods and stuff like that. Now they just have tons and tons of gold pieces and none of the, so it ends up not being as worth anything to them. But anyways, and no bank though. They're free from the bank. Yep. No central bank of Brandonsford anymore. Okay, so you've got like 5,000 gold pieces left. What do you guys want to do? You want to take I will say that 2,000. How much is in gems?
14. Hang on a second. Where are you? Oh my goodness. I'm opening 100 windows and none of them are the one I need.
If you take the sturdiest hobbit chest you can, 1,400 gold pieces worth of gems occupies a solid third of the space, and another 2/3 of the space, I'll say, is another 2,500 gold pieces will be about 250 pounds, which will fit on the cart, and you're not gonna, and it'll be this hobbit size, a very large chest for a hobbit, but maybe a medium-sized chest for a human.
Get sacks and stuff too. For like the let's see, we've got a jeweled cutlass still, some ruby eye skull.
You do have some strange items.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of random stuff, so we just put those in a bag.
Okay.
I'll keep the. I got the cutlass. I think so.
Now,
Put them in the bag. You shake it so that everything kind of settles. And
Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Right?
yeah.
I will say that you can carry all of your treasure, but it'll take one big hobbit chest and 2 small hobbit chests, and it's going to take up a portion of your cart that you could be drawn by your one.
Okay. Well, how about we? I mean, how much? So shall we divest ourselves a bit here?
You could leave a bunch to the hobbits. 'Cause
Maybe we'll just entrust it to Basha and just to tell him, like, maybe hide it, use it if you need to, and use it to help the locals, but don't
Don't go
bury
spending it all in one.
bury
place.
it under Brandon's house or something.
Okay, so let's just simplify that. And Steve, left behind here and not carried with you all is minus 1,500 gold pieces. And you have, including the gems, 250 pounds worth of gems and gold pieces in a chest. How many, you all also want, like, I don't know, 2 full bundles of, you probably just want oil and lanterns at this point? You want some torches too? You'd say like 2 full bundles each of torches, plus 2 things of oil and 2 lanterns each.
So yeah, got me some. So how long? That sounds right. Like, I'm not good at the math. So how many torches is that?
I think it's 12, right?
12. Okay.
12 each. And this would just be like a bunch of,
Sorry, I missed that. What are we discussing? I was talking to
I'm just kind of like rounding up like some different supplies, like basic supplies, torches and oil. I'd say 2 bundles each. And this is, when I say each, I mean all of you, Tharnlin, Knob, and Squints.
Yeah.
So, and then you can assume that you have any other basic supplies that you need. And then if there's anything else in the book, you can kind of get knickknacks if you want. I would say like 1 or 2 of each. Like rope, Does that work?
Yeah.
This is a crammed cart at this point.
I mean, I just want to. My intent was Okay, hold on a sec. Say hi to my wife, everyone. Could be worse, he said. All right.
All right. So supplies packed. Hobbits are ready to go. They've said goodbye to everyone. They have traveling cloaks on that are probably not best for such a long journey, but they've never seen a journey this long except the one time that Knob made the journey to... you all have journeyed for a week before. You made a several-day journey over from the Broken Dragon Shrine, actually. We just kind of rushed through.
We got 2 musics playing at the moment.
And it's at this point that the front gate is opened. I had to check here. You don't start with a horse, do you? Like in AD&D or OD&D? Okay.
Didn't buy one. Not until
All right.
4th level does it magically show up or I earn it or something.
A grown man walks through the front gate. A man. Human. What does he look like?
So Helmer has bright blue eyes, one of which is looking in a different direction. He's got long light brown hair with a short beard over a jovial face. Stands a whopping 5'5". He's heavy set in muscle and a tad overweight. So both his head and his body are nearly as wide as they are tall. He's wearing full plate that seems cobbled together by multiple suits and is heavy with wear and tear. On his side is slung a broadsword. Over his shoulder is slung a round shield, and he's got a large backpack.
All right.
Kind of is walking in with his eyebrows up, looking at everything, and then as he's slowly taking everything in. His eyes kind of furrow, and he's doing this kind of looking to side, either surprised and then looking at this giant dragon, and he kind of walks up to that and is very confused as to what he's looking at.
Welcome to Brandonsford, my friend.
Yeah, we could have used your help a day or so ago, it looks like, but we're okay. What brings you?
Hell, yes, indeed. What happened? What is this?
A dragon was menacing the area and finally attacked the poor folk of Brandonsford, and we helped them defend their town. And the dragon lay slain before you.
I am amazed. I come here. I'm glad to know this is Brandonsford. I've come here to make pilgrimage to the shrine of Sir Brandon. This is not what I was expecting. I'm taken aback.
Well, the shrine lays a few miles further up the road. Or rather, it's not really on the road, is it? It's more in the hills.
Well, actually, the shrine is your house.
Oh,
The chapel,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, not the tomb. Yes, well, we have recently vacated that place, but yes, come on over and have a look. There she lies.
He's looking over it and amazing. I've come a long way for this. I'm from Westernell. It's just kind of gestures over yonder. My name is Helmar. I'm a servant of the thrice blessed paladin, so they call me. Your names?
I am Edward, and that there is Ben.
Ben, it's a pleasure to meet both of you.
And I'm Tharglin. And he reaches out his hand and grabs hold of your armor and tries to shake it with both hands. And the two little hobbits come up, and one of them's like, "I'm Ned, and this is my friend Squints."
He just like a short bow to both of them. Pleasure to meet all of you.
It's true. We could have used your help here not too long ago, but it's amazing and he looks back over at Ben and Edward, that the legends, they're true. The sword of Sir Brandon was drawn again as a dragon rose from, it seemed that a dwarf had become evil and turned into the beast. And together we stood against it and we slew it.
It's Knob, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Knob speaking, yeah.
Okay, I thought you said Ned.
He's he did say Ned, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I meant Knob.
He's staring at them wide-eyed with this face all brightened up. And the sword of Brandon. Who wields this blade?
That would be your humble servant, sir.
He turns around. Sir Edward.
No.
If you wield the blade.
Well, out of pure necessity, I assure you, it did fall to me, but could have just as easily been you had you been here, and probably should have been you, to tell you the truth. But I'm a man who's educated in how to use a sword.
You're too modest. You were here, he wasn't. There you go. But
It's true. And it did lay waste to the beast. It cut great swaths in its foul skin.
Kind of got his arms on his hips. Dragon slayers, magic swords, body of a dragon. More than I could have possibly hoped for. I'm delighted.
Well, we happen to be just now heading out.
Oh.
Yes.
Which direction do you go?
Northwest.
I happen to be, well, a pilgrim. Perhaps I could accompany for a short time.
Well, it's an important quest, and one that I feel duty-bound to continue, as I'm sure my friend here would agree.
Yep.
But we've been charged with discovering the fate of the dwarves. And of course, here's one dwarf here, but he too would like to know what happened to his cousin, as well as... so our roads lay together for a while, it seems.
Worthy cause. Worthy cause. I would be honored to join you in this quest.
Well, we can use you.
He clasps you on the shoulder and kind of does like a little thing. Quest.
All right. Well, a small crowd gathers at the gate entrance on the front end, the south side of Brandonsford, cheering you on. Everyone trying to, wish you well, and all sorts of hobbits bowing to the big human people as they make their way out. Many of them singing songs and things, and you find yourself for the first time in a long time in the forest outside of Brandonsford, but on the south side of it. And I'll describe what you see. The weather, as I said this morning, is crisp and nice. Fall has come, but it's not cold yet. From here, you can see forests stretching on. Like after you leave Brandonsford's behind you, and you leave right out the south gate, you can see forest ahead of you, and out to your right front in the distance you can see the river that you've crossed, and it seems to just continue on right to your right front. There's an old road, and Tharnlin mentions this. He says, there used to be a trade road here. It connected Brandonsford on the west side through the forest to travel around through the wilderness there on the west side of the Black Mountains. But I would imagine it's long overgrown and disused. And Nob is like, yeah, no one has come or gone from the west in a long time. And that's what you see from where you are.
Well, onwards.
Which direction?
Is there a map?
Nope. Someone ought to map, by the way.
Oh.
Okay. Anyone have any hex paper?
There's a site where you can see here. I've got a crazy idea that might work. The hex grid. Hex grid generator.
It doesn't have to be a hex, right? Like, I mean, sometimes I think, but I mean, and it is useful, but it's probably not going to be so accurate or so perfect to know. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, but no, this definitely relies on someone attempting to map as you all travel and gain details. And you can be wrong, and you can get lost. Nobody wants to be the mapper?
I'm whipping out a book at the moment.
Okay.
I had volunteered in the dungeon, and that was
Yeah, it's
got myself so confused.
I'd say it's like and I will also note I give 25 XP for treasurer, initiative tracker, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I give 25 XP for mapper, but in this one I'll do 50 XP per session for the.
I'm gonna take a crack at it here.
All right. Yeah. So what you see again, key thing is Brandonsford behind you just left the south gate. Looking out, you can see your right front, right, the river stretching on down to what would be the southeast. Another keynote, I don't want to hide this detail, is you've known since you've come to the Vale, the sun only rises and sets to the northwest. And it's currently kind of just at the horizon because it's morning time, and the sun would be kind of like to your right rear. You'll hear me say that a lot, where the sun is. But it's always to the northwest. It's never... In the Vale, it only goes up and down northwest.
Huh.
And anyways, the sun is to your right rear, and you're looking out, and you can see the river kind of right rear to right front, stretching on, right? That you've crossed several times, but back up north above Brandonsford. And then you see forest out in front of you, stretching on for some ways. And Tharnlin and Nob have suggested that there's an old road to the west of Brandonsford, around where the fairy people were.
That was the satyrs that we got the wine sap from? Those fairy people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the road out of the south, is the river in front of us?
The river is traveling from your right rear to right front. It's out that way.
Okay.
And I will draw too, and I'll kind of go back and forth from drawing. So, because I don't want you to have to just depend on my crappy descriptions alone, right? But like you just left the south gate of Brandonsford. It's got a wall. You just came out that. And you see like forests ahead of you here. And then you see, like this river stretching on out that way. And they claim that somewhere over here, west of, which was where the satyrs are, when they describe it, is an old road that's fallen into disuse. Your goal ultimately is to the north are in which you saw the dragon's lair and all that stuff. That's the Black Spine Mountains, and they would be impassable directly to the north. So your goal ultimately is try to get all the way around to the northwest to cross to circumnavigate the Black Spine Mountains. That's the ultimate goal, right? So,
Do the stories of that road, that old road, would they go around, or would they just take us north until we have to find another way around?
Tharnlin says, I know that road was built by my ancestors, and we once had trade with Brandonsford out from that way to the west. As I said, my cousin Ed, he's out there somewhere to the northwest, but I've not been out that way since I was a child. There's a town there, Deggarhum. I don't know what has come of it, though. I've not been there in over 70 years.
Well, sounds like our first destination then. What do you think?
Okay, so the road is supposed to go... We would turn west from here to find the road?
He says, we would need to probably just go back through Brandonsford and get to the north side of Brandonsford. Then we'd need to cross the river.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that then. We'll cross at our usual place.
Find our big log.
All right. If that's the case, the first thing you do is suddenly surprise the hobbits as you coming back through town again, and travel.
Just a test. Y'all still here? All right. Good job.
Yeah, they make a little parade of it. It becomes not a hoopla, but let me make sure I get the nomenclature correct. A hubbub. It becomes a hubbub as a little parade happens. The Hobbit children dance and songs are put on and stuff as you parade through town back the other way. This is about a half mile And then you get to the north gate. They open the north gate, and you get on the other side where you had entered and exited for more than a week in your travels outside of Brandonsford in your adventures. And you have the open field is the first thing you have. And then if you head to the northwest from there, you have the river. So like you left the north gate of Brandonsford, and then you've got this open field here for a ways. And then you have like forests about a mile off in the distance where those bat things had chased you, out of the forest. And if you head kind of away from the forest, eventually you come to the river. And that is where I make my first check. Okay, and then you pull the cart along the riverfront, in the same boggy, marshy places that you encountered the river troll, and eventually you come up to that bridge-like structure, and you can see it's at a point where the riverbank has actually been almost destroyed by some huge, fat-bellied beast that had dragged itself across the river and ruined the riverbank. And there are goblin bodies and scorch marks and things left in its wake. And failed trees.
Before we cross, since we don't have a ranger anymore, give me. I just want to listen. Pause before we get on the bridge and start kind of listening around, doing some thief trying to hear noise just in case.
Sure. I'll take the same skill, but I'll say, like you're just trying to scout ahead, right? Because you're right, you don't have a ranger anymore. So you go ahead of the group and you stop and you listen around. You don't hear anything.
Okay. My hear noise is a 1 to 3 now, so 50% chance. But 1 to 3, hear noise.
Nice. All right, so you at this point when you cross the river, Tharnlin's like, I think it's further to the southwest from here somewhere. And he points in the direction of the woods, into the thick of the woods where those satyrs were.
Did we leave on good terms with them? Do we want to get some more wine? Or wait, we had to steal the wine, didn't we? Maybe we shouldn't go see them again in case they caught on. I mean, I liked the stuff, as you can tell. I did, pass out when we were there, so I don't remember how I shook down. But
well, there's no real need to visit them again, I don't think.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Ben kind of looks wistfully off, thinking about the wine.
Let's see. I also need to see your travel rate. Need to determine your all's travel rate, which would just be normal. Give me a second. 10. I'm having trouble finding it. Looking for your travel rate. Miles per day. Distance creature. Oh, that's flying. Distance and measurement. Yards. Movement rate is tripled. Overland travel, miles per day. Here it is. Base movement rate of 120. So, it is always divided by 5. Okay, so is anyone wearing, because all your stuff is in the cart, right? Like the bulk stuff, right? And I'm going to say that the cart and the donkey can travel at a normal rate with you all. Is anyone wearing, I think Edward is wearing heavy armor that has the benefits of light armor, right?
Yeah, that's mithril.
Okay, so that would put you at 90 feet. So that would... is anybody else in heavier armor than that?
Can't get any heavier than leather. That's all I got.
Yeah, he's wearing full plate.
Full plate. Okay, so you're in heavy armor. So 60 feet divided by 5. All right. And you want to wear the armor, right?
Oh, I could take it off while we're traveling if it makes it easier. Just keep on the plate, I guess.
Okay, so you want to take your armor off while you're traveling?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
What about you, Edward?
I think I know.
Well, all right.
If you kept it on, your travel rate would be 18 miles. Although it'd be affected by terrain and stuff. If you took it off, it would be it would be 24 miles. But it might be affected by weather and terrain and things like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe let's take it off till we get to the road.
Okay. All right. So you take your armor off. Okay. So that
At least.
means, and I'll assume that you've done this the whole time, so it doesn't slow you down. So by this point, it's now been a few hours, and you find yourself traveling through the woods, getting the cart to move through the woods and stuff. And finally, Thornland's like, I see it now. Do you see those stones? And there's literally just like maybe a little, an old statue that's like only the stump is left of it. And then there's maybe some stones, and then it's just like overgrowth. And he's like, the road. Yes. The road to Deggarum.
Okay, so this is past the woods.
So at this point, you have crossed the river that's north of, or you went north of Brandonsford and crossed the river. And you're on the west side of Brandonsford. And you're only about, this is maybe 2 or 3 miles northwest of Brandonsford across the river.
Okay.
In the woods. And then you identify this old road that's, according to Thornland at least.
Okay.
And if you line yourself up with the road, the sun is to your right front.
Which means that the road leads due west.
Thornland's like, that makes about sense.
Well, I guess we stick to the road.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when we get to this road, what does it look like?
Well, like I described before, the road is you see like just a stump of an old statue that maybe had been a bit of a way shrine or a light or sign or some signpost in the past, and then maybe just one stone of what was once a road, and the rest is just overgrowth. Yeah.
All right, Darnley,
Okay.
keep an eye out. Keep us on the road, and I'm just like, it's that way, right?
Okay. Does it seem to stretch west as far as we can see when we start?
Yeah. Well, and you can't see very far because of the forest.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Thornland does that. He keeps slowly identifying the road. Sometimes you get a little off, and but it's not long. It's only a few miles And it's now been about a portion of the day. It's now late morning, and you break the tree line, and you can see the forest behind you. Okay, you break the tree line, you leave the woods, and there is indeed an old road, and you can see the signs of it, even though it's overgrown in places. You can tell that this road continues on ahead of you with the sun to your right front. And you can see as the old remains of this road continue on into a rocky, hilly area miles ahead of you. And far off in the distance, you can see the clouds and the smoke or the mists on the top of the Black Spine Mountains, all around you to your right. You can see behind you to your left the forest that you just left. It stretches on for a few miles to your left to rear. And from where you are, that's what you can see.
So you're saying off to our right, in the distance, the mountains.
Yeah, miles off in the distance. You know, like, if you've ever been like 20
Yep.
miles on the near side of the Rockies, you can see these things just jutting up like knives, you know, with snow and clouds and stuff off to your right. Some of them kind of getting closer within a few miles to your right. And you have this forest behind you that you just left the tree line of.
Okay, and to our left?
And to your around you, like 150 degrees to your kind of left front to right front, is you can see off in the distance these rocky hills, and the road going straight through them ahead of you.
Okay. Now, we're out of the woods, which means we're sort of exposed. I feel uncomfortable not wearing the armor.
Armor back on.
Yeah. And a quick scan of the horizon. There's no obvious fire or smoke or any signs of civilization in the distance that I can see at this point, is there?
Where are you looking for it?
Well, I guess I'm kind of looking at the direction the road is going. And we got the mountains. I assume we're not going to see anything when I look directly towards the mountains. But there's no. Yeah. Man, just looking at the sky, I guess, and looking for smoke or
Looking
anything.
for smoke. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think as you all travel along this old, disused road into the hills, you get another couple of hours along your travel. Now you're surrounded by these hills, just hills around you for a couple miles in every direction, and it goes on for another couple of miles ahead of you. This road kind of winds through these hills. Sometimes you have to kind of go up and things. And eventually, as you crest one of the hills, you can see what you're looking for, that they're ahead of you. On the other side of another hill, there is in fact smoke rising up ahead in the direction of the road.
And what time of day is it now?
At this point, it is about afternoon time.
Okay.
Okay.
So
let's-
about how far? Like, do we think it's like a couple miles ahead? I'm just trying to get. Is it I get the horizon? Do we think we'll be able to get there? Where the
That smoke?
judge distance? Yeah.
That smoke is probably a couple miles ahead. That's right. On the other side of
Okay.
the hill.
So are we still amongst the hills
Yes.
then?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's continue then.
Okay. As you get closer, let's see here. Ben, you can roll a d6.
Is this for hear noise or anything?
This is for surprise.
That's what. Okay. Well, let's see. Two.
You are surprised. And so this happens. So let me change kind of like the scene, what it would look like here. This would be like having those mountains out to your right, and you're traveling among the hills and stuff, and you crest one of the hills as you're traveling along this road. It's kind of like this, where it's no longer, the road is not clearly defined. It's just the remains of it. When you hear the telltale noise of like, and then you do the Spider-Man thing where you're like, they see you and you see them. What do? There's like yeah, there are probably close to a dozen of them.
Are they goblins? Do I recognize them? Or
They're little misshapen, lumpy humanoid people that are not hobbits. They do look like the goblins you've encountered.
Helmar just kind of lifts his hand and just kind of like tries to hail them, not dismissively, but not. Hey, yeah.
One of them like points at you as you lift your hand. Another one holds up his hand, and then the goblin points at that hand. And then the goblin looks at the goblin's hand, and then they shrug, and then they just start running towards you.
Get my sling ready and start throwing, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna fight?
Draws his sword and starts.
Well, I mean,
walking.
if they're like they're charging at me, I assume that looks like a threatening charge, not just like, hey, they want hugs.
Is it a
Okay.
threatening charge?
Can I tell?
I think it is either. Can goblins, can they threateningly charge? They're definitely running at you with some purpose or intent.
Are their weapons drawn?
Yes.
Okay, well that's
yeah.
That's the sign
that's
I'm
the
looking.
key. Okay, but how far away again?
They're starting out about, and by the way, this is now in yards, and you can simply, what is it actually? You can act your distance and triple the yards, and I may have it wrong on the map, but wilderness. Nope, that's not what I want. Wilderness, distance, range, and movement rates are tripled, so things act more quickly in the wilderness, and it's measured in yards. So if you're able to move, you don't have your armor on.
No, we do. We put it back on as soon as we hit the
did.
road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we left the woods, everybody put their armor back on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. In that case, it's a little bit later in the day too. It would be closer to like late afternoon at this point. But anyways, with the paladin's heavy armor, if you're able to go 60 feet, you're instead able to go, what is that, 180 yards. So, anyways, let me set this up.
180 yards?
Mm-hmm. Everybody can go triple their distance in yards.
Oh.
What the?
Are you sure it's not just movement is in yards instead of feet?
Huh? That's what I mean, is that, instead of going 60 feet, you can go 100 and whatever it is.
But what I was saying is, are you sure it's not, you can go 60 yards instead of 60 feet?
60. Yeah.
That would make more sense than,
that's
than
what
180 yards. You said 180 yards. I was like, good.
No, it's true. So things go faster. Let me find it here, just to make sure.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make
okay.
sense of the scale that we're dealing with here.
Wilderness adventure. Ranges and movement rates are measured in yards instead of feet. This means that
Right.
ranges and movement rates are tripled.
Yes, but not.
Okay. I'm
not-
sorry, I
they're
didn't
not-
listen.
They're not. Yeah, it's not an
So-
order of magnitude.
The time and distance either way is faster. You're
Tripled as a. So okay, it all makes sense now. Thank you.
let's see.
I was unaware of that rule, and I always wondered, wow, encounters sure are far away in the wilderness. How does anything happen? Oops. Characters always got several rounds of melee of ranged attacks
Yeah.
before whatever it is caught up to.
Longbows
Well,
murder everybody.
That's still true though, because like the distance is 4d6 times 10 yards.
Yeah.
So you can end up having 200 yards away. So you end up having 1 or 2 turns sometimes, but that didn't work out for you guys with these goblins, unfortunately. They ended up you kind of
All right, so they're-
onto each other.
So they are within 1 turn's movement away.
That is correct. And this is feet. You can, you in this case, and I'll fix this later. You can, because I don't think it matters at this point. Because yes, they are within basically a turn. You can use your normal combat speed. Because I didn't set the map up correctly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So is the plan to fight? Is that any ideas, plans, stunts, tricks?
I don't think we can escape them.
I mean, we're kind of in the open with a big old cart.
Okay.
Take the swag.
All right. In that case,
Yeah, run for your life. I guess we should maybe lose everything.
Helmer,
You have it-
you can roll a d6 for initiative.
Go. 3, I think. One of those is mine, but which one?
I got it. I'm
I
the
got the
horse.
2.
Okay, so
Womp
they're
womp.
able to act first. And they are rushing up. The first thing they do is they actually you all drew your weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They will attack then.
Well, we drew our weapons when we saw them running
Right.
with their weapons drawn.
Oh sure. No, I'm not
Yeah.
saying what you did was unreasonable. I just trying to make sure from their point of view what they're seeing. Let me make sure that this makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. Okay. So 2 of them are able to get to Tharnlin, 1 of them is able to get to Helmer, 2 get to Ben, 2 of them get to Edward. And I'll say that they're kind of, they don't have like spears or anything, so that's probably the best they can do. Let me zoom in. Okay. Okay, does a 19 and a 15 hit Ben?
Yeah, those will both hit.
Okay, let's see here. Let me make sure. Goblin has. Is that true? I'm gonna check that. I don't know if I believe that. It does. Yeah, and they do 2d6 then.
Oh,
8 damage.
2d6. Jeez.
There's 2 of them.
Okay, so that wasn't for 1 hit. That was 2 hits.
That's 2 hits, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's still damn, but I thought like a single one does 2d6. Like, what kind of goblins are these? Assassin goblins.
Looks like they miss Edward, and then one of them attacks Helmer. Does
That's a hit.
18 hits? Okay, they do 2 points of damage, and then 2 of them attack Tharnlin. A 19 hits Tharnlin for 4 points of damage, and that makes it your all's turn.
know if they speak common or not, but I want to yell at them like, "You're attacking the heroes of Brandonsford. We've slayed slayers of Hog Boone and that dragon that killed everybody." So,
Okay.
drawing my cutlass and starting to hack at him.
When you say that, one of them speaks in common. They're like, in a broken common, "Weapon, put down, weapon." Blah, 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 blah. They're demanding you surrender.
Nay, you surrender to us.
15 hits, of course.
All right.
All right.
Change.
I guess I should be attacking. Isn't it?
Yeah, anybody can attack. Man, you all need spears.
Yeah.
Got a nat 20 on that one.
Ooh. 7
nice.
points of damage to this poor little fellow.
These
Yes,
are currently... Let me make sure that I have this correct, what these are aligned with. These are chaotically aligned, so you can also use your +3 for the sword.
+3 to attack or +3
I'm
to
pretty sure it's
attack and
both.
damage?
Yeah, it's a magic sword.
Okay, it's D8, right? Just a D8 long.
Okay, so you do 7, and describe how you kill this one.
All right, as he's running up and they're like, "Surrender, surrender," he just kind of does like an over shoulder chop, and just the top of the head just he gets ready for another swing.
All right.
10 damage.
All right. Yeah. How do you do it? How does that look like?
Almost disdainfully on the backswing as I step past him. I slash across his neck and down.
For my first time using this gilled cutlass that we determined was magic, but I don't know anything about it. So is it just a straight D20 to hit? I take it.
Well,
No.
that part, yes.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
let me see.
Here comes the other part.
Yeah.
oh boy.
16.
16 definitely hits. Let me see what happens when you do this. So you get a +1 on top of that, which is a 17. You find that this is very easy to wield. And that's it for now. That's it for now.
Okay. So how much damage does a cutlass? Is it a D6 or is it? What's it? Can't use the stats stuff. Is it like a short sword or regular sword or?
I'm gonna say it acts like a longsword, and you can do a D8.
Okay.
And
I like that.
you can also add a +1 in addition to either, and I'm going to say that you can use your dexterity or your strength.
Oh, then I'm definitely going dexterity. Is that to damage and to hit, or just damage?
Yeah, I'm going to say that it can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, then
Very nice.
That's a
then that's
nice
a +2.
cutlass.
Then okay.
This is a fancy sword.
So that's D8 +2. That's 8 damage.
All right, so you slice through one of these things effortlessly. They get these hits onto you all, and you yell in pain. Also, I'm gonna roll for the hobbits. I apologize once again. I forgot. The hobbits are gonna come up and try to fight.
As I chop that guy's head off, I'm like, "What did I tell you?"
You were warned.
Of course, they miss. And this immediately is gonna cause a morale check for them, which they just barely pass. But you just start hacking through them. 3 of them die, and they start to back up. And let's see. I'm going to subtract 1 from their initiative because of that, though. Well, they got a 1 anyways. Edward, you can roll for initiative. Well, you don't have to roll because they got a 1 and house wins. So
Okay.
you all can act.
All right. Attack away.
Get this other one away from me, hopefully before he can kill me. Because one more hit, if they like they did last round, could do.
I'm guessing a 10 doesn't hit.
And you added all
Wait,
your bonuses.
does an 11 hit? This is a +1. No. It's +3. Never mind. I'm already adding +3. I don't know what other bonuses I'd have. I'm not a fighter. I don't think I get a bonus to strength, do I?
Yeah, this isn't swords and wizardry. You can add your strength, yeah.
Okay, so 13 is a +1, I think.
You got a 13?
No, 13 strength is a +1.
Oh,
correct?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in
I
that
got
case,
a
I rolled an 11.
Okay, it misses.
Okay.
Does a 13 hit?
13 hits.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know why it's calling you Brian. It still does that. All right.
Okay, 5 damage to that other guy.
5 damage. Okay, let's see here. This one.
I had
You
2
kill
on
that
me.
one.
Does he? Good. Then I want to get away from any of the other ones before any more can get.
And then, well, yeah.
Hey.
Wow.
Two. 4 damage.
Let's see, and then I'm gonna roll for Tharnlin. That misses, and then 2 hobbits. You rush up and into melee to attack. They both hit, and they do max damage, killing 2 more
Wow.
goblins.
Nice.
They're like, ah, and they rush forward screaming. I'm going to do a -4 or a +4 to the reaction roll to flee. And it fails miserably, and the remaining goblins will flee if you let them. One of them, the one that spoke common, slumps to his knees and is just begging for his life in common.
The ones who are trying to I'll bypass. The others, no.
Huh?
I'll go past him if he's begging for his life, and I'll chase down whoever I can, slash.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do that. I think if they're fleeing at a +2 or more. Let me see. Retreat, you get a +2 to hit on top of all your other bonuses, and everybody can do that if you want.
Does this
Still
that
missing.
include ranged to hit?
Yep.
Then I'm just gonna get a sling out because I don't want to get too close, but I'm gonna try and peg one in the back of the head with a sling stone. That'll hit.
I missed with mine.
Okay, Knob is able to slash one of them down as it flees.
Yeah.
I missed.
The other one gets hurt.
Max sling damage.
Darnlin misses. And then, let's see. Helmer missed. And then what about Ben?
I pegged one in the back of the head for 4 damage.
That's the rest of them. The other hobbit took the rest of the damage. And that leaves one hobbit begging for his life in common.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Ow! As I clutch my wounds. I told you! I'm mad at him because I got hurt.
Helmer walks over and clasps your shoulder and says the Grass Mother's blessing, and you get 2 more hit points back with lay on hands.
Oh, nice.
Strange
Nice.
glow. My use for that for the day.
I point
Knob.
my sword at
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I point my sword at this goblin's throat and say, "Where did you come from?"
He says, we're guarding the pass. The Bat Eaters. Other tribe cause war. Prevent tribute.
Okay, what pass?
Pass. And then he points into the hills that you're going towards where you're going.
What is that smoke rising?
He's like, and he says, Bat Eaters, Bat Eaters.
That's a goblin stronghold.
Bat Eaters strong. Strongest goblin tribe.
So you a bat eater?
Yes.
I slap him. I'm mad at him still.
He weeps, begs pitifully.
perhaps we could use this one to aid our passage through their territory.
So what do? Do we send him back saying to leave us alone? Because then that just helps him set up an ambush. But
Does this
maybe
road lead past your stronghold?
Yes, yes. We hold pass. Guard. It is Bat Eater's job.
who
What do
gave
you
you the
mean?
job?
He looks confused. He's like, he's like, Bat Eaters. We. And let's see. No. Gargarus. Gargarus take tribute for gods. And he has this look of reverence on his face.
What's the closest not goblin settlement?
Not goblin? Hobbits.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next closest?
Not goblins? Gods? Oh. Hunters. Hunt goblins. Good. Oh, and then he realizes he's insulting your kind. He's like, good people, good people. And he like points off into the distance. And from where he's pointing, it's just into the hills. But it's instead of on the road. So like, let's say I'm facing the road and I have the sun to my right front. He's pointing to the left front.
So, in other words, southwest from here.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, he's pointing toward the sun. But
Okay.
and then he says, but that way, whoa, that way, blood crushers, weak, but many of them,
More goblins?
blood crusher tribe. And he points toward the sun. So you get the impression like somewhere off in that distance is some kind of settlement of people of your kind, but it's past more of these goblin burrows.
How close to your walls do we have to pass if we stay on the road?
Oh. Bat Eaters guard the road. It was given to us by the gods. You'll never pass. Oh yeah, and I have to make a check.
That was good. That was a good.
Are you just pausing to see what we do, or?
Nope, nothing happens.
Oh.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
Vicious. Just a slight
Ah.
defense malfunction.
All right. What do we do?
So do we try and go around them, get off the road, and skirt around them, or I don't know if I like the idea of wandering right through a goblin, defense.
Don't wish to pay tribute to the gods.
As you say that, this maybe is not the perfect sound, but there's like this squealing, like a like that. Actually, that's pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself. And it echoes through the mountains. You hear it like like echoing through the hollers as something screams in the air up into the mountains. And then the goblin looks up into the mountains and is like, the gods!
Guards, huh?
The gods. He said the gods.
Gods. Is there any cover? Or, we're just hills. I don't know if we got trees or anything for cover.
There's there's a few trees nearby. What else? You do find some rocky outcroppings. They're not like perfect cover, but you probably couldn't get the mule and the cart out of the way into that cover. Like there's nothing. It's funny. This is very similar to what we do on the Thursday game, and this is like the second greatest enemy in the game is the fact that there's no cover in the open areas when you travel. Yes, there's not much cover. It looks kind of like this, actually. It's like rocky grassy hills at the foots of mountains and stuff. And at this point, you can actually see some shape in the sky coming towards you all. Some kind of like a dark shape somewhere up in the sky.
I'm gonna go hide, but as close under a tree as best I can.
Yeah.
Try and get the cart as close to the tree as possible, I guess. Just so it's maybe a little bit more defensible from there.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure that I'm interpreting this correctly, so don't. Go ahead. What were you gonna do, Edward?
We need to move. Let's get away from these bodies.
Wasn't us. Had nothing to do with this.
This figure begins to draw closer. It looks like this winged shape, eventually taking on the brown form of an eagle. In its head and front claws, but the back end of a lion, and it sees the cart and immediately just dives for it, grabs the mule, and lifts up into the air and flies off with the mule.
But not the cart?
Nope, not the cart.
Does it then go away?
It then goes away. Very happy.
Oh.
And at this, the goblin's like, it likes horses.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Nope. How good are you at pulling, Goblin?
No! He like does the Smeagol thing where he grabs his head. He doesn't want to be a slave.
Strap him up.
Oh no! Okay, you strap him into the harness.
Don't worry. I mean, at this point, I guess we'll help.
It's definitely not. It's not going to be enough, and this is gonna. No. I'm gonna say this reduces your movement by 50% from a normal movement overland, and you'll probably have to take turns. And then Tharnlin's like, "Oh, I'll take the first turn. Come on, Goblin." And the Goblin's just weeping as like two people pull this cart. And where do you all go though? So you're in the hills, road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to go until we catch first. Now, he said that, I mean, the wisp of smoke is coming from their headquarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you stay on the road, he's saying that you're going to go right into their...
I'm guessing they probably control... Well, let's go and have a look at what that actually looks like then. We'll try to make sure that we, are real careful near ridges and things like that before we go over them.
I don't think we want to get this goblin too close to the...
The goblin's really enthusiastic about this idea. He's like, yes, good idea. Good, we'll just take a look.
I don't think that's... I think as soon as we get within yelling distance, this goblin draws his goblins to us.
You're right, of course.
I think we're going to have to go off-road for all that.
Okay, so we need to turn...
And then he said toward the sun is this enemy tribe.
Yeah.
And then this way is actually kind of like these mountains. This is actually a good depiction. If you turn to the right, you're going to go into these sharp jutting mountains.
No. And what's to the south?
To your left, you just see more hills, but it departs from where the road is.
Yeah, let's go that way. We'll try to cut south and then turn west again.
Try and keep some hills between us and the smoke so they can't get a clear view of us. till we can kind of get past where we see that smoke, and then we start curving back around to the road. Maybe it's gonna be hard going.
At this point, you see the sun is setting, and
I love this art.
it's starting to become dark. And you approach, so you depart the hills eventually, these kind of rocky, bare hills, and traveling south, and you can see far off behind you is that forest, right? Like the forest that goes north to south, where on the other side of Brandonsford, right? And then you come up to where there is a lake, and you hear a noise in the lake. Well, first of all, you can see along the shoreline of the lake are piles upon piles upon piles of skulls and bones, and you hear a noise like another, like a grumbling, like a, and it like reverberates and echoes through the hills and into the dusk, coming from the direction of the lake.
Well, let's not go near that water.
Oh my gosh.
So we better start looking for a camp and try and get something safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to just find a hollow of the hills somewhere.
All right. So you're just trying to find, like, okay, so you said a hollow in the hills, not going near the lake.
Correct.
Okay. So it's kind of, this is, I didn't pick this art to line up with the hexes, but I've found sometimes the art gives me kind of a terrain to base things off as a touchstone. And this is pretty good. So you can find like these rocky outcroppings like this, right? So let's say that you find kind of a place like between this copse of trees and stones, and then this other rocky place, and it provides as much cover and protection as you could find as you settle in for camp for the night, and it becomes darker. You hear that noise again, that grumbling, and you think you see a dark figure off in the lake. It doesn't seem to be coming closer, but there's this big dark figure in the lake with a strange windy neck and a head that just kind of comes at the end of this weird, strange, windy neck. The neck just kind of like goes like this sometimes, but you're certain it's a neck, and then it's got a head on the end of it, and it just goes like this, and then this big wide body, like some kind of antediluvian dinosaur that slowly moves along the lake, and you can see and hear that thing as you're trying to camp, like roar, grumbling and stuff on the lake.
The picture makes me very uncomfortable. It looks like this enormous. Cool.
I don't know why this isn't working, but okay. Maybe I have a more chill. That's a little too spooky. That's just a little too spooky. What about this one? Okay, this is fine. Okay, so yeah, what do? You set up a camp? Is that the goal?
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe try not to start a fire, and this goes to water. I don't know. It makes me nervous to draw any attention to us.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. You at this, Knob is like, oh, drats! I wanted to warm up the food. I brought some herbs and some taters. Oh, he's like, okay. He grumpily gets in his tent. He doesn't form it into a tent. He just like lays it out and gets underneath it to sleep. He's never been this footsore in probably his whole life.
There'll be time for taters later.
Darnlin's like, well, I'll see you lads in the morning. He does the same thing. He just uses the tinting as like a poncho taco and just throws it over himself.
Yep.
Suppose we should bind a little friend here.
Don't leave him strapped to the cart. Stake the cart into the ground.
He shifts and whimpers and squirms and yells and cries all throughout the night.
I mean, if he's gonna make that much noise,
Why is he not able to lie down?
No, he is. He's just being petulant.
Just being okay.
Okay. You set up watches, I presume, and all of those sorts of things. The night, other than the goblin fussing and whimpering and crying and Tharnlin snoring, and the hobbits joining into a chorus of snores, and every once in a while the echo of something off in the lake. A grumbling noise that every once in a while you just see the waters ripple as it descends off back into the water. Apart from that, the night passes without a problem. When you awaken, you find that that thing doesn't seem to be there anymore. You awaken to a bright day again. In fall. However, let's see. So now this is the second of okay. And you see that there are some storm clouds gathering far off. You know, the sun is rising to your... If you're facing the lake from where you are, the sun is to your right front and rising. There's storm clouds way off in the sky and to the distance to your left.
No, hold on a sec. Okay. Now, we went south to find the lake, right?
Mm-hmm. And this is
so
just
if we're facing...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So if we're facing the lake, assuming we didn't go around it at all, the sun should be rising to our rear and our right rear.
No, so it's true. So I have
Okay.
that there's yes.
If we're facing south, if we were facing north, if we were facing west, it would be to our right front.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So we were traveling, and then kind of to your right front, you have this lake, and I got you in this copse of trees, but that's all. That doesn't matter. Okay. You're correct. You were headed south. You're headed, and you encounter this lake, and the sun is to your right rear. And then you have the hills behind you from where you came from. So, and then to your left is the forest that stretches on southwest of Brandonsford. It's thinner there. The forest seems to be thinning out. And then this lake you can kind of see off in the distance to your left front. You can see how the lake continues on into what's maybe a river, miles off into the distance. And then it seems to be kind of grasslands like in this picture at that point. Where do you all go?
Right. We need to thread a passage here. I think stay to the north of the lake, stay nestled into the hills as much as we can, but try not to come too close to the actual edge of the lake. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I suppose continue to move roughly parallel to the road, but moving in a moving west.
I'm trying to go west and weaving through all this horrible danger.
Yep.
Even if it takes a little longer.
Yeah. Okay, so you start to do that. You start to head away from the lake, and you find that the terrain there's this steep outcropping that would just, especially with the handcart as you're taking turns, you either have to abandon the cart or you have to kind of wind back, and you find yourself eventually coming back onto the lakefront, and you're now a number of yards, maybe 100 yards from the lakefront. You realize that you either have to come close to the lake or you have to figure out a way to get the cart on the outcropping, abandon the cart or go back the way you came.
How's everybody feeling? Anybody else get injured? Because I'm still got wounds from those goblins too.
Yeah. Was there
It's a new
natural
day.
healing? Was there natural healing for him that happened overnight? Or
Oh, everybody
it
gets
takes
D3 healing as well. Yeah.
Oh, does that count? Okay, I didn't know if it had to be a full day's rest to heal, or is that enough?
I'm just saying every day you're going to get D3 hit points
Okay.
back.
I wasn't sure how we
You're
were
probably-
doing that. If it was,
okay, well,
Do
it's
all
gonna
chat.
take us a while, but I think it would be best to circle back around and try to
Take the
No.
time to get back on the outcropping.
Well, we can't go south around the lake because I think it'll just run into the river. It may take
You
us.
could go back the way you came and then go toward the forest, keeping those hills to your left.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
mean, that's
and I'm not saying go into it. I'm just saying, but this will just take time. So, what's the goal actually? Is it to just try to get around this and then
yeah,
keep through? Okay, that will take time. That's what it would take.
yeah.
So you'll lose time.
So-
Okay.
So, I suppose instead we need to thread. Well, am I the only? I want to take some input here.
I think if it takes extra time, let's just try to get around all this stuff as much as we can, but still head west. If we've got to take a long way, it's
Yeah.
until that long way gets blocked by something equally or more horrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
All right. What do you think? Does that sound good, Lane?
Yeah, no, I'm on board with that because, yeah, I don't like. So far, we've had some bad options, and let's see what maybe is also bad options, and then go from there.
This takes, with two people dragging a cart and a goblin that's not super cooperative, this takes basically all day to try to go all the way back and then go around and get on top of the outcropping, not go toward the hills and not get near whatever this is in the lake. Another day passes, but you do find yourself, the sun is setting to your, if you're heading, you got the hills to your right, lake to your left. The sun is setting to your right front. So you're right there. It just comes to the end of the day.
Ben, how are you doing for hit points?
Well, I'm
Still-
at, after that last little bit of resting, I'm at like 9 hit points out of 13. So
Okay, I can give you another do another lay on hands for another 2.
Nice.
okay, then I'm doing pretty decent.
Tharnlin, oh yeah, I need to roll his, actually. Oh, that didn't help that much. Okay, and I'm counting your all's rations, because it's easy math now, because you've got 2 weeks, so you've got 13 days. The next day you have 12 days. Alright, so what do you all do? Do you set camp here, or do you want to kind of keep trying to press forward in the dark for a period of traveling, or what do you want to do?
I think camp is best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you start a fire?
I don't think so.
No.
Staying
No.
tactical again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the whole. Like, if we go in the dark, we're gonna have to light torches anyway, and that's bad. So I think we gotta rest. Yeah, because we don't want to. There's too many dangers to set ourselves.
Somewhere off in the distance, you think you hear the faint rumbling of that thing in the lake, but otherwise you don't hear anything, and except the squeamish goblin who continues to fuss, and then the snoring companions, and then the next day the sun rises to your right front there as you're facing off into the distance, and from here you see, this is also a good depiction, you see waving hilly grasslands that just kind of like continue on rocky, hilly grasslands and brush for as far as you could see for miles at the end of the horizon. Yeah. And then to your right, you have the hills. This is actually perfect. You got like hills and stuff. And to your left, after just a few hills and forests, there's a lake over here.
Is it the same lake?
Yeah, same lake. Yeah, just, this is if you're facing, with the sun rising to your right front. I'm just...
Okay, so this is waking up after that. So we're basically in the same place as we were.
Yeah, actually, but a couple of miles north of there, but yes.
Yeah.
Within the same hex.
Yeah.
Yep.
And are we high ground enough to look and see? We don't scanning. We don't see any, goblin settlements or campfires or anything.
Not from here. You can see smoke rising to your right front, off in the distance, miles away.
Okay, we forge on westward as straight as we can.
Keeping that smoke to our right as much as,
Until it passes us by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You do that, you head out into the grassland, and you can see this stretch on for miles. You can see the faint signs of the hills, kind of like beginning to fade off to your right. Let's see.
Do you mean that the line of hills continues, but it starts to veer off to the northwest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, towards the sun.
Okay. And it's replaced by what, like rolling country or flatlands?
Yeah, rolling country, gently rolling country between, not flat, but just gentle rolling country with grass and brush and rocky but small hills. Yeah, it's like grasslands.
Okay, if we look right from where we are now, are we still in the hills?
No.
Okay, so we've emerged into that type of country as well.
Yes.
So can we see the remains of the road from where we're at?
And I have you travel, because I have you going away from the lake, I have you going kind of towards the sun. Because if you went straight to the, with the
so
sun,
we're going like west northwest.
Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So then, does that mean then, if that's the case, we must be getting closer to the road, or the road itself is also starting to turn west northwest?
You might be, but the problem is that, and Tharnland can't seem to even help with this either. You have no idea where the road is at this point, because the road was not wide or easily discernible to begin with, because it's almost more like yeah.
So then we need to, at this point, now the smoke's behind us, right?
Kind of to your right, off in the hills.
Okay, off in the hills to our right, but if we were to turn, to continue decisively west-northwest, it would continue to stay on our right. So basically we keep the smoke at our right as a guide almost. Keep it the same distance from us to our right as we make a turn more decisively northwest.
Okay. Ben, roll a d6. Oof.
I'm rolling lots of twos on these, apparently.
You hear snarling all of a sudden as you're traveling. You're trying to get the cart over something, and it's taking a lot of people, and all of a sudden, Ben, you hear growling and snarling nearby, and some things are emerging from across the brush. off in the distance, but you can hear this, and it sounds like they're getting closer.
Can I see anything or just hear it so far?
You just hear it so far.
Okay, well, it's like I'll notify everybody. We may have gotten attention. Some creatures seem to be coming our way, it sounds like.
Sword drawn.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
problem.
going to
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to hand my bow over to Ben,
I'm gonna
our old guy.
hide and get the bow ready.
It's
You have to hide behind the car.
open terrain is really tough.
It
Like,
is what
and
it
then
is.
you're trying to carry this cart. That's hard mode.
Yeah.
More money, more problems.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the cart. I'm gonna put the cart between me and the sound though, and kind of use it for cover, ready to pop it or around the side and shoot an arrow maybe.
Yep.
You should be able to move this stuff however you wish, and then what are clearly a large number of wolves, a large pack appear.
Oh, Lord have mercy. We all need to light our torches.
Okay.
Those
Everybody,
of us who aren't with a shield, I say, nodding to. What's his name again? Sorry.
Helmer.
Helmer, nodding to Helmer.
He nods. He's ready.
Yeah.
okay. So
I
everybody
suppose
lights torches.
I'll light a torch. Maybe the hobbits could. Both? One of the hobbits has a. Is it Squints? Who's the one who's got full warrior's kit? Is that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or was that Ned?
No. Yeah, no. It's you've got Squints, who's got, yeah.
He's got like short sword, shield. I think he's even got like chain and stuff like that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I don't remember exactly what all.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so then me and Ned, and we will light torches, and I guess I'll give a couple torches to the goblin.
He's like, no! He just starts yelling. When you light fires, these things, they circle around for a while, but they don't. They just start to circle you, and they don't get closer.
Yeah. Well.
We don't want no trouble.
Hold on. Actually, you know what? Hold on.
T-pose for
Hold the
dominance.
phone. What's that?
Nothing.
Okay. Is there a noticeable leader of this pack?
No. But what's your intention?
My intention is animal friendship.
Ah. No, I think you can do that. Yeah. But let's see how that works.
Well, actually, okay. First, speak with animal.
Okay.
Okay, the caster can communicate with one type of animal within range when the spell is cast.
All right.
Okay, ordinary animals or giant versions of ordinary animals. Caster can ask questions of and receive answers from animals of the chosen kind, although the spell doesn't make the animals any more friendly or cooperative than normal. A reaction roll may be required. If an animal is friendly toward the caster,
I got
he
it.
performs
Yeah.
some. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Speak with animals then. It doesn't mention any kind of casting time or anything, it just sort of happens, and I'm going to begin my speech by saying, which of you is the leader?
You hear probably a chorus, and as you access this through the magic of your music, you hear like a hungry, hate, fire, fear, hungry, fire, hate, hungry, scared, like this stuff like that. And then one of them is probably, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how wolves work, but I'm thinking it's like the mom, and it comes forward, and you get the sense that maybe there's like this mother, and it is like fire, big people, and is trying to get an angle to attack, but also afraid of you.
Okay, on that one, animal friendship.
Okay.
Animal must save versus spell.
All right, it says that you have to approach it with a piece of food.
Yes. Let's do that.
It snarls. They all snarl and snap at you as you get closer and stuff. And then it's like, hungry, hungry. And it starts to get kind of frantic as you get closer. And I'll see if it's going to bite you or if it's going to take your food. I think that passes. Spells fail. It doesn't. You have to, no, you can meet it, and then it passes, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, save versus spells. Yeah, so it's got a 16, a normal wolf does. So it passes.
All right, well, it is not affected and behaves normally.
Just yeet it at it and run.
Well, I'm not gonna run. I will, if it looks like I failed, I'll toss it towards her and back away with my torch still raised.
It sniffs, but then it kind of goes past her amongst them, and then they all just start, and they start fighting with each other as they start just going nuts trying to get this food. And then the others some of them are kind of like circling around you. You can tell they're afraid of the fire and afraid of, all of you, so.
We mean you no harm. We wish to pass safely, but we are armed. We will hurt you if we have to.
Probably the most intelligence you've experienced from these things. You still have the speak with animals, right?
Duration is 6 turns,
Nice.
which is an hour.
The mother type is like food. They seem desperate for food. That's what's going on.
Can we each sacrifice a ration here?
Can we give him a goblin?
Well, then we still got to carry the cart.
Yeah.
Helmer just goes,
It's going to slow us down.
Okay. All right. When if you throw some rations, they become entirely occupied with that, and they just start eating. And you find you're able to just kind of move on away from them without.
Yeah.
you guys are okay. We're just gonna. All right, we'll
Get
see you
out of
later.
here. We still got fired. See ya.
Ooh.
Yeah. And you do that. You pass on to.
Whew. Close one, boys.
I mean, you didn't get a wolf
I
companion.
didn't get a wolf friend, but I didn't get eaten
But
by
you
the
also
wolf.
didn't get eaten. All right.
And we
so,
didn't have to sacrifice the goblin.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm hearing you say that you're gonna
Going
parallel. Okay.
Northwest, we're going to basically parallel the line of the hills, I suppose. But it seems like that goblin fortress is not within view.
Okay. You're confident you're doing that, keeping the hills off to your right, using that as a boundary, terrain boundary, and you continue to do that until finally night falls again. On the
Okay.
what
And
would
we were
be-
moving how we can move because of the plate mail. What's our rate? Or our movement is halved actually because of the freaking loss of the mule.
Yeah. So, and you can just let me know at any point if you want. If you're like, hey, I'm going to put the armor for this part of the journey. I'm going to put it in the cart. You just let me know.
Seems so unwise.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you can see from, well, at this point it's nighttime. So really it's just grasslands around you and hills way off in the distance. and it being night, that's probably the...
Well, so we traveled, and the whole time we traveled, the hills stayed to our right and to our front and left. It was all this rolling plains thing.
Yep.
And did we turn further right? Did the hills curve around, or did they stay straight the whole time?
From where you are, it didn't seem like they curved around yet.
So we're still really going west-northwest as opposed to...
And I do have you
northwest.
kind of having the sun just off to your right just slightly. That's what I kind of have going so far.
Off to our right slightly. Okay, good. Perfect. In that case, yeah. So the terrain looks much the same as it did the day before.
Okay. I have that you have 10 rations left per person and for the horse.
Well, we get desperate. We eat horse rations.
The goblin shudders nervously and whimpers.
Feel you there.
These barbarians, they're ruthless. Okay, yeah. Do you keep going? Kind of, is that the plan, to keep going in that direction? Okay, let me make some checks. Oh my gosh.
Keep it on.
Let's see. Ben, roll a d6.
Is this the next morning? The next day, or during the night?
This is next day, sorry. Actually, I don't have enough dice for this. I have to go over here.
I don't like that. That looks
Yeah,
weird.
that's...
Oh man. All right, what'd you get on your d6?
3.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So, good news and bad news. So, you're traveling along, and this is what happens. The boundary that you're waiting for, the change, starts to curve off to your right. So, the hills start to kind of curve. But then it seems as if the goblins have caught up to the fact that they lost an entire platoon of an outpost to some human force. As you can see your goblin go, he starts yelling to try to get attention from little figures that are coming about 120 yards over the rolling hills to your right. As these dozens of goblins are headed your way. About 2 or 3 dozen goblins.
Ooh.
Okay. Now
I'm realizing why this is the expert part of basic and expert, because and there's a level range for it.
Oh,
right.
Did we get another night to rest before this happened?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I got one.
Oh, Thornlin got his hit
Hey,
points
all right.
back.
Alright, back to max for this.
Uh,
I need it.
Might be prudent to abandon ship.
I'll say that you can take like part of it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're just going to try to flee and hide, you can't take everything. So you can either leave.
Where is there to hide?
The goblins have little goblin feet, and they don't have mounts, and they're not on wargs or anything. So you could just flee, but you're not going to be able to flee with a cart full of stuff. So I'll say that you can throw things overboard if you're going to just grab and run. Even then, you probably need some kind of distraction, something that's going to buffer you long enough to make it.
Open so grab what we can, and then take the goblin, put him in the cart, open the chest, slap him on the back, and then that should be more than enough for them.
Put him in the chest.
No, I mean like open the chest, just like plop him in front of it, pat him on the back, and run, because then he's gonna be like, look over here. They'll leave us alone.
It's like if we, open it up, if we get maybe at least we can get some of the bag of gems or something. Yeah, and just
Light
kind of
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, throw him in the chest, leave it open with him just like standing in a pile of, tied up in a pile of
you're gonna try to use
coins.
the treasure.
Yeah.
Ah,
Like grab what we can,
yeah.
but then just like take the goblin, put him in front of the treasure, show him it, pat him on the back, and run.
Okay, I'll say
Like,
that you can.
Good for you. You did good. Bye.
Yeah, you can use the tentings, the tent material, and you can form enough bags and stuff to take everything except for. I'm gonna say that you're gonna lose half of the. No, I have it backwards. How much gold? How many gold pieces is it?
4221.
Gold pieces, not including the
gold
gems.
pieces. Ooh,
I think it's like 1,500.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's what it was. 1,500.
Okay, it's gonna take half that,
Okay.
or you can take half. The gems are no problem, obviously, and then you can carry all your supplies. But yeah, okay, so you leave a pile of 750 gold pieces. You can subtract 750 gold pieces, and he's throwing it up into the air, and he's cheering his buddies on as if he's the victor, as if he triumphed over the evil armies of the humans. And you all are able to
Good
make it
for him.
off.
He's going to be popular.
This has
He
you
earned it.
in fleeing. This has you going for some ways to get away from them, with the sun to your right rear.
He's still got to explain why he's tied up if he was the victor, but that's not our problem.
Well, I thought you let him go and set him in front of it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
figured he was still tied up, but with the pile of gold. I don't know.
I meant to release him.
Okay, that's bad.
This
Yeah. Okay. So
probably thank him for his cooperation too.
So we just run off into the grasslands here.
yeah, you now have your food. Your tents are acting as like knapsacks full of gold pieces, jangling and clanking on your backs as you flee.
I got a
bags
couple
of
sacks
gems,
too
yeah.
on me, so that helps too.
And
Right,
each of you
well-
carrying bundles of, rations and your torches and stuff as you go. I will also make you more encumbered because you now have a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry, this is hard. Is this too harsh? I'm just like, to me, this is just happening. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah,
trying
no,
to
it
make
is
it
what-
happen
that's
or
how it
anything.
would work. That's how
It
it
is what it
goes.
is. It is what it
This is
is.
the way.
So I'm going to
It's just-
say
it's just
basically
funny.
everyone is with heavy armor, which doesn't change much, right? Because you have nowhere to put your armor anyway. So, so everyone's basically, no, yes, that will keep it simple. That's simple math. So everybody's with heavy armor currently, and then
All right.
the person with heavy armor is with treasure.
As
All
the
right.
kids say, it is what it is.
Yep. Well, on we go. I think we need to turn back around north. Because I think that will bring us towards where the goblin said there was a human settlement.
Hmm.
Well, he said hunters.
All right, you try to do that. Turn around until the sun is just slightly to your left front, and eventually darkness begins to fall. Being dark, it's hard to see, and so you're not sure what's out there right now. But you are currently just in these open, gently rolling plains and small hills. Grass
Well, if
and
it's
shrubs.
dark, it's time to call it a night.
Yeah.
All right, do you make a fire?
No.
No.
Okay.
There are goblins nearby, if nothing else.
The sun rises the next day, and I have that you now have 9 rations each remaining. It is now the 5th of good month.
I've also got 6 in my bag, too. Should we be in dire straits.
Nice. All right, and I'll tell you what you see from here. You can see... so you're somewhere past where the hills have kind of begin to curve off to your right. If you're... Let's just say right now you're facing the sun, okay? The hills begin kind of curving off to the right. Yeah, there's that. And then you see miles off into the distance a collection of other hills. And you think maybe smoke.
Yeah. Well, we go in that direction, towards those other hills.
Okay. All right, let's see. I gotta make some rolls. Nice. It is not easy going. Clink, 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 clink as you're trying to carry all this stuff. Slowly going now without any cart. No goblin to help, and no mule. Oh yeah, and I have to roll this other thing. Okay, good. The hills that you're going towards just slowly get closer. But night falls another time. Are you going to sleep through the night and just keep going?
We're approaching hills, but off to our right. Are we? Is there a gap then between?
Well, we're talking an order of miles. So really, it probably looks like the hills are disappearing off to your right. Is probably what it looks like.
That's what I'm saying then. Between the hills that are disappearing to our right and the ones that we're approaching in front of us.
Oh, all around that is just like these grasslands is what's all around that. So hills in front of you, a small, kind of like isolated collection of hills.
I see. We're not moving towards another major formation of hills.
It doesn't seem that way so far.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we're now down to 8 rations. It is now the 6th of good month. And the sun rises, and finally, you start to see an interesting sight. You see these mountains wouldn't, although kind of like the Rocky Mountains, there are probably places where the mountains are just there and they're never going away, no matter how far you get away. In terms of a visual marker. But you see people on guard and fires from an old structure, obviously ruined, but inhabited. And people, let's see, actually, Helmer, roll a d6.
Guns. Nope, wrong one. Sorry.
Okay.
1.
All of a sudden, people arise around you in cloaks, and they say, "Stop! Where do you go? And from what lands do you come from?"
We're going northwest. We come from Brandonsford.
Brandonsford. Why would you be in Brandonsford? And then Boulder Hill is like, well, for one, some of us are from there. And then the human is like, "Silence! You'll come with us."
Well, he's right, but we're what, Eldermen from Brandonsford?
Yes.
This is not a time to be foolish. You'll speak to our captain.
Well, just
We'll speak to his captain.
yeah.
Anything
I
you
mean-
say or do will be used against you in a court of law.
Yeah. I didn't say anything that wasn't true.
Yes.
Within-
Even for the truth, there's a time and a place.
They take you into the ruins at the end of this day. You'll have to use your food for this. You're down to 7 days. And that makes the next day, tomorrow, the 7th of good month. And, but in that evening, they take you to a place within these ruins, and there is a wispy, strangely thin features that are, well, alien, and long ears. And she removes her cloak and she says, I am Cenarian. I am sorry for the vigilance of our vanguards, but I can tell that you are not here of any ill will.
No, indeed, my lady.
Welcome. These are the Black Oak Ruins, once a mighty fortress of the Kingdom of Man in this region. It is now the location of the Hill Rangers, those of us that guard the ways through the Wailing Hills.
Well, it's very fortunate indeed that we arrived, I believe. Certainly for us. And we thank you for your welcome.
Indeed. We do not have much on offer here. Here within these ruins, the rangers keep their skills sharp by keeping to simple campfires and woodcraft and firecraft. We do not have beds or rooms or taverns or inns.
Oh, well, more's the pity, but we didn't come for those things. We're simply glad you're not goblins.
She smiles slightly. Well, I would like to know, nonetheless, since you are here in our home, and since it is our charge to guard these ways through the Wailing Hills, north to south, what your stories are. I would consider that the one payment for you to stay with us.
Well, we've been charged with discovering the fate of the dwarves. In service of that charge, we make our way towards where there was supposedly a settlement. Our friend here hopes to meet his cousin, and we hope to discover the news we seek. As for where we come from, Brandonsford, away southeast, where we leave behind us the carcass of the dragon that was plaguing those lands.
You've slain a dragon.
That we did.
She raises an eyebrow when you mention discovering the fate of the dwarves as your quest, and she says, "You'll forgive me, but as to the slaying of a dragon, could you perhaps provide some proof of this?"
Well, before it was a dragon, apparently it was a dwarf. Not, as it apparently happens to make dragons. Somebody did something bad, I'd assume, but don't know the story of that, but you probably are knowledgeable of that sort of thing. Maybe that helps verify it.
I know what you speak of. Oh, go ahead.
I'm afraid I have no proof. I do have the sword of Brandon, with which the beast was slain.
If you show her like a portion of the sword, her eyebrows raise even higher, and she says,
"Yeah,
both of these things are proof. You have slain a dragon, and it was a dwarf." And she kneels down, and she's like, "My dwarf friend." And Tharnlin's like, "I miss," and he kind of like leans back from her, and she's like, "I don't mean you any harm, please. I know that what you think of our peoples, but that is not my purpose here. I am sadly at odd with my cousins, and that's why I help these humans. But I don't think that your quest will meet a good end as far as I know, for we do not anymore know, we no longer know what lays north into the fallen kingdom of Kel'Raz, and Deggarhum does not wish for any visitors anymore." And Tharnlin is like, he's like, that's preposterous. My cousin, it's been a long time since I've seen him, but Eddie, he would, we're family. he would welcome me in, and then she says, I think actually much has changed in Deggarholm, and what people remain there of your kind have set aside the ways of stone and any of the traditions they've kept of the old kingdom of Kelder Raz. And he says, now you insult me! And she stands up and backs away stoically when he becomes angry.
Well, our quest is what it is, my lady.
Well, I see.
We didn't come to discover good news, but to discover the fate of the dwarves.
I'm afraid that I cannot spare any rangers to help you on your quest, to help guide you, but I can give you information, and you can stay here as long as you're peaceable, and I can tell you what we have seen in these lands. And we can trade.
Well, all of that sounds tremendously helpful.
Very well. For our rangers, you'll find, as I said, no bed or even straw, but this old stone that is many lifetimes of one of these men. This is where we lay.
It will be truly a blessing just to sit by a fire for an evening.
And
food, water, and no goblins to kill us in our sleep.
Yep.
Make a lore roll for Black Oak.
Okay. I don't think you would... See, this is a tricky thing. Like, how would you know anything?
Well,
you know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
This was, it's one of them class feature things. So I don't know how I would know, but clearly it's magical.
Well, okay, so...
or the thing is, the Bard's College that I was educated at wasn't even in this world. It was
in this world, but it was not anywhere near. They wouldn't have even known about this place.
So we went through a portal, but stayed on the same globe, or plane, or whatever.
Yeah,
assuming it's a
veil,
globe or a plane. Okay, whatever. In any case,
somewhere.
So Perenval is part of the Veil, then.
Yeah, it's all the Veil. Yeah, which you would know as a demi.
Well, then that's where I was educated as a bard, was in the college, in the druidic college that's there in Perenval.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think I have an idea. Okay, so let's
in any case, it doesn't matter. I failed the roll.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Alrighty.
But it's good to know that it'll work should I roll a 1 or 2 again in the future.
Alrighty.
I think that roll has hit for me once since I've started playing.
Cool. Well, no one seeks to interact with you. Everyone here seems kind of strangely reserved, and
well, she offered to tell us.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I interrupted your description.
Well, there's no rush to leave or anything, but I was just going to say, just for the night, everyone, so saying stoically reserved, and also you get the sense hyper vigilant. And actually, that's where we'll end the session for the night.